Hi guys and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to what is episode number 18 of Steins. We are currently on a train of pain and I don't see this train slowing down anytime soon. This has been really brutal lately, you know, with Suzuha's episode and now last episode with Ferris and then this episode presumably with Ruka. Things are going to be really hard to watch because it's just sad to see people's happiness be taken away from them and settling and accepting a life that they're not happy with. Like, it's just really hard to watch that sort of thing. And we had to see it last episode with Ferris, even though we did see Ferris was happy and, you know, she was her old self again when we saw her and she had come to accept everything. It still sucks to know that she had to experience that pain 10 years ago, knowing how happy she was in that other world line where she had her father. It just really hurts and it sucks, and I don't know what we're going to see here with Ruka. I can't imagine it's going to be easy to watch, but yeah, let's just dive right into this. So if you guys do enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe and comment down below letting me know, now that we're close to the end, who your favorite character is in this series. And so long as it doesn't have spoilers, you could share why that person is your favorite. But yeah, we're going to dive right into this. I hope that you guys enjoy. Oh, it's going to be our... I'm scared. But yeah, here we go. Episode 18, Steins Gate. Let's go. Oh, here we go. How do we broach this subject to someone? Like, that's awful. Yeah.
これもすべてマユリのため。お前には男に戻ってもらわなければならないんだ。
Mr. Hoing Kyoma, I don't think this is how you approach a subject like this. I don't think you just walk up to someone and be like, hey, I need you to do this thing. I need you to be unhappy. Peanut. Alright, episode title is Fractal Androgynous. Have the titles all been relevant to, like, the actual episodes? Because the episode titles have been blowing my mind for, like, just how obscure they are and hard to decipher. Whereas I know what fractal means, I know what androgynous means. I'm related to Ruka for sure. What?
冗談で返せるくらいの余裕はあるみたいね。オカリン、マユシはオカリンにかっぱりなのです。
Ruka told me.
しらばっくれてもダメなんだよ。ルカちゃん泣かせたでしょ。お前は男だって言われたって。
D メールのことも聞いたのか。
D メール？ごまかそうとしてもダメなんだからね。オカリンはきちんとルカちゃんに謝る。
You're not gonna get away with it this time, mister. His hair seems to be getting more and more disheveled as we go along here. I feel like it was only used to be like 2 strands and now it's like 6. Yo. Just yoinks her away.
信じられない。
だが事実だ。事実だった。
彼女が男。もしかして橋田みたいな。
No.
これはひどい。
ではなくて見た目はあのままだ。
なら許す。
Oh, in appearance. Okay.
ルカ子を男に戻さねばならない。
だけど今回岡部は漆原さんが送った D メールの内容を知ってるわけでしょ。だったらわざわざ事情を話さなくても。
But it just feels mean and awful not to.
ルカ子の母親のポケベル番号を知らないのだ。それに下手な小細工を浪するより真実を告げた方がまだ誠意は。
To find some acceptance and
見せた結果泣かせちゃったわけでしょ。
consent to it, I guess.
そんなのいつもの設定ですよね。ひどいです。岡部さんからそんなこと言われるなんて。
Oh, poor Ruka. The eye twitch.
フラグが立ったんじゃない。
フラグ？俺はこの戦いが終わったら結婚するなどとは一言も言っていないぞ。
それは死亡フラグだ。
A death
私が言っ
flag.
てるのは恋愛フラグよ。
Wait, what?
恋愛？
そう。大好きな岡部からお前は男だと言われて乙女心がズタズタになったのよ。
Huh? I mean, yeah, it does seem like a lot of these girls. Oh, dear Okabe-san has something important to say. Would you come to the shrine? Wait, okay. But like, I don't know. Isn't Ruka like 16 or something? So that's weird.
僕、岡部さんが言ったことを信じます。それで、
Oh shit, okay.
男に戻る代わりに恋人になってください。
なぜ俺が恋人に
That's really funny. Oh my god.
明日一日だけでいいので僕と恋人になってく
You're
ださい。
like underage. It's
し
weird.
かしお前はわかったから泣くな。いいだろう。なぜ泣く
Boyfriend for a day. This did not go the way I thought it would. This has gone very, very strange. But Kurisu called it. Kurisu knew.
狂気のマッドサイエンティストが女子高生とデート。
言うな。
I was like, that sound, is that coming from the background of my
女子
house?
風情
But
にデートの仕方
no.
を相談しているのではないか。
アイスコーヒーになりますにゃ。
2 iced coffees.
デートの
No,
相手
thank
は
you.
マユシーかにゃ。それともこの子なのかにゃ。
いや、こいつは助手だ。
奥義習得の任務のためとはいえ手当たり次第にいろんな子に手を出しすぎだに
Yo, called out.
いろんな子に。
Oh, damn. This Kurisu doesn't like your womanizing ways.
岡部ってさ
Not that you've really done much.
奥義
That I've
習
seen
得のため
anyway.
なら何でもできちゃうの。いやだからその設定の中での話よ。愛する人がいたとしても奥義習得のためなら何でもできる設定なのかなって。特に意味はないんだからな。
なぜそこで怒る？
怒ってない。っていうかそんな設定なんだったら漆原さんとデートしてあげればいいじゃない。
だから最初からデートすると言ってるだろ。
A lover spot.
今の
Old married
話
couple.
僕にも詳しく聞かせてもらいたいわけだがこれまで何十人もの女の子とチュッチュしてきた僕に任せるといいよ
We never said we were gonna do that.
それは全てゲームの中の女子だろう。俺は現実のデートの話をしているのだ。
Damn.
デートと
Good
青山だとか表参道だとか西麻布だとか。無理だ。これは別世界だ。
This is not the world I live
存
in.
在しない世界なの
The
だ。
world I live in deals
そ
with
こを否定してどうする。
science
そもそ
and
も
experiments.
アイザック・ニュートンと同じく IQ170 に生まれついたこの俺。おー、イン・キョーマ。
Straight out the womb.
興味があるのは女よりも研究で
ど
あり
う見ても童貞です。本当にありがとうございました。
そういうお前はどうなのだ。そんな偉そうな口を聞けるほどデート経験豊富なのか。
うっさい、バージンで悪いか。ブランド物で決める必要はなく清潔感のある。
そこは OK だな。白衣ほど清潔なものはない。
白衣でデートはないだろう。店選びに関しても同じです。無理をして高級店に入る必要はありません。普段の自分の行きつけの店で十分です。
ここはないな。
We're being
当たり前でし
coached.
ょ。この殺伐とした店内でどんなデートするつもりよ。
Oh, the girl behind you heard. Oh, she's not happy.
このメリケン少女メガ。
誰がメリケン少女だ。
お前以外に誰がいる。
はい
Oh my
はい、
god.
デートって言えばエロイベントだろ手をつなぐとかマジエロくない
What is
腕組ん
happening?
でおっぱい肘に当ててるよ状態とかエロすぎっしょ
How did we get here after the last 2 episodes? Screw all of you normals. Normies. Oh,
ブツブツ言って
Uniqlo.
ないでとっとと着替える。まったく世話が焼けるわね。
Oh, she dressed him up really
なん
nice.
か首輪をつけられた気分。
Wow.
はいハンカチもどうやって使うか分かってる。
今でもあなたのことを待っていますという合図。
それは幸せの黄色いやつ。その偏った知識はなんだ。おまけに古い。
I don't get the reference.
女の子が公園のベンチに座るときに広げる。こっそり後をつけていざって時はメールでアドバイスしてあげるから。
Wow.
橋田も一緒にね。オペレーションバルキリア開始よ。
Valkyria? Didn't we have an Operation Valkyria ages ago? Oh yeah, now she's using Norse mythology. I think he scrubbed up well. I think he looks good.
すみません。
Kurisu just watching from the distance with her little walkie-talkie, probably. No, not even trying to hide that well. You could like be sitting on a bench or something blending in.
白衣じゃない岡部さん、初めて見ました。
Yeah.
まあデートだからな。はっ女の子と歩くときは自分もさりげなく車道側を歩く。
どうかしましたか？
いや、なんでも
He's just like, oh no, I suck.
おっと、なんだあれは。
ちっともさりげなくない。
そして車やバイクとすれ違うとき、さりげなく女の子をガード。
ガードした？岡部さん？
What the hell was that?
しかもそこでメイドさんに助けられ、ティッシュまでもらってどうする？
He's flopping. You want him to be perfect for you, Kurisu. That's it, isn't it?
このケーキとっても美味しいです。
You're eating cake before you eat
コー
dinner?
ヒーもうまい。
Or did you already eat something? I don't know. Oh my god, this is awkward.
なぜ今まで普通に話せていたのに、デートと意識した途端。
ここ素敵なお店ですね。よく来るんですか？
いや、このままではまずい。実は今日が初めてなのだが、
投げ返した。
初めてといえば今日8月14日は
Kitten day?
日本で初めて1000倍特許が交付された。
どこに投げてんのよ。岡部さんっていろんなこと知ってるんですね。
I love that he scrubbed up like clothing wise, but his hair is still messy.
マキセシも帰らん。
いえ、最後まで見届けるのに。
We watched this awkward whole thing unload,
やっぱり
unfold.
つまらないでしょうか。僕なんかとデートしても。
お、バカ何を言う。
That's not the case.
次は街をブラブラするぞ。
Maishi?
ルカちゃん？初めて会った時のこと。
Oh shit,
覚
we're
えて
gonna
いま
learn?
すか？カメラを持った男の人たちに絡まれて困ってたところを助けてくれたんですよ
The
ね。
hell?
おう。
ありが
That's
とうございまし
creepy
た。
and weird.
でもすみません。
ん？なぜ謝る？
だって僕はこんな顔なのに男だから。
That's how Okabe remembers it?
お前が男だろうが女だろうが関係ない。
Oh shit.
そんなことはどうでもいい。
あの時
Knight in shining
岡
armor
部さん
type
が言ってく
shit.
れた言葉がすごく嬉しかったんです。
Does she
あの言葉があったか
remember?
ら岡部さんのこと好きになったんです。
Does she remember the other timeline? Kind of like what Ferris did.
ちょっと待って。それはルカ子が男だった時の記憶ではないの
That's
か。
really curious that they're able to remember these things.
僕
Yeah,
何を言
like,
ってるんだろう。
how does it
なん
work?
だか混乱して。
フェイリスの時と同じだ。
Hmm.
前の世界線の記憶が。
Did the advertisement on the screen behind him say present or something?
恋人になってくださってすごく
Aww. That's
す
nice.
ごく幸せでした。
おい。
Even if
これ
they were
お
both
母さんの
awkward
ポ
and
ケベ
did
ルの番号
nothing.
です。
Aww.
肉肉野菜野菜肉肉野菜野菜。これを見れば漆原さんのお母さんもきっと前のメッセージはいたずらだったと思うはず。
That's awful. Yeah, he feels
どうした
so
の？
bad.
岡部。
Her reaction of like running away, just saying.
まゆしさっきルカちゃんが誰かとデート
Oh,
して
that's
るのを見ちゃったの
brutal.
です。あんなの絶対オカリンじゃないよ。だってなんか普通の服着てたし結構紳士っぽかったし。
その通りだ。あんなのは俺じゃない。あれじゃルカ子は俺とデートしたとは言えない。
You're gonna go on a rail date, is that it?
まだデートは終わってない。
でも岡部さん。
今日まだ我が名を忘れたかルカ子は。男だとか女だとか恋人だとか混乱していたのは俺の方だった。俺はようやく気づいた。
What really matters, yes.
ルカ子はルカ子。
Be yourself. That's what she wants.
分かったら妖刀サミダレを持ってこい。いいかルカ子、よく聞け。そもそもこの妖刀にまつわる伝
This
説。
is like a callback to episode 1, right? I feel like we haven't seen all of this since like the very first episode.
まゆりちゃんのこと助けてあげてください。岡部さんの探している古いパソコン。
IBN5100 か。
確かに去年のお正月までうちの倉庫にありました。
Last New Year's.
でも僕が壊
Oh
しちゃったんです。
shit.
倉庫の掃除をしていた時に。
That
だ
sucks.
から僕のせいなんです。
Not at all.
岡部さんお願いします。まゆりちゃんを助けてあげてください。久しぶりに 岡部さんと修行ができて本当に良かったです。
We were happy to spend the time with you, Ruka.
もう言ってください。じゃないと僕泣いちゃいそうで。エルプサイコンガリ
It's Kongru.
コンクルーだ
You're always messing that part up.
エルプサイ。僕本当は戻りたくないです。だって
You're not happy in your body.
岡部さんへのこの気持ち封印しなくちゃいけないから。男なのに岡部さんのこと好きでいちゃいけないと思うから、今日のことも全部忘れちゃうんですよね。デートしたことも久しぶりに2人で修行したことも、こうして岡部さんの体に触れていることも、女の子になりたいなんて願うんじゃなかった。
お前が男に戻っても俺にとってルカ子はルカ子だ。何も変わらない。
男とか女とかそんなことはどうでもいいです
Okabe
よね。
loves his friends all equally. Like,
覚えていてください。
of course.
女の子だった僕のこと。
忘れない、絶対に。
And that's that. Brutal.
漆原ルカ、声も仕草も女にしか見えない。いや、女よりも女らしい美少女。なあ、ルカ子、
はい。
お前は俺のこと好きか？
Aw.
いきなり何
We're
を。
just straight up asking.
その尊敬してます。
We don't want to lead.
男だ。
We don't want to lead Rukaku on. You know, like that's a tricky situation because like you don't want to lead anyone on, but you don't want to like make them feel like shit, especially when they've just bared themselves to you. That's the end of the episode. Yeah, that one was a pretty tough watch here and there, like especially towards the end. Like the whole beginning section was just silly, goofy, haha, but then the more it went on, the more like hard it was to watch, and that's all because of, you know, the relationship that they have and this kind of expectation that Ruka has on themselves. I don't know, yeah. That was a hard watch. But like yeah, I don't know. And that was episode 18 of Steins Gate. That was further emphasizing the point that time travel and playing with time, messing with time, does not necessarily have good consequences. Like, we are seeing time and time again that we did all these things. You know, like, it's so interesting looking back, because back when they were sending D-mails, it felt like, you know, they were doing good things for themselves. They were just playing and having fun and just, like, experimenting with this new thing, this new exciting shiny toy that they found, they discovered. But the further and deeper we go into the series, the more it becomes obvious that these actions have led to terrible consequences. And I don't know, like, I don't want to speak for Okabe or for the series itself, but if this had been someone else other than Mayushi who's being killed time and time again, like say for example it was Moeka, someone we rarely see, he rarely knows, but say for example she was the one being killed instead, would he have gone to all these lengths? Is it just because it's Mayushi? And so because of that, it calls back to something I think I talked about in the previous post-episode talk, where Ferris said something about being selfish, but really it seems as though Okabe is the one being selfish here, because he's making the choice to go and do all these things to save one person, to undo the happiness of others, to save one person, without that one person even having a say or even knowing about the whole situation. Again, that might not be the sort of direction the series wants to go, and that's okay. You know, I'm enjoying the ride as it goes. I think that the way that they're taking us is incredible, and I'm so invested in this world and in these characters that that's why these episodes really hurt. Ruka has been happier than ever. Like, I remember back in the previous episodes, like way back the first 5 to 10 episodes, whatever it was, where Ruka was a guy. Ruka always had this air of sadness around them, just always looking down and never looking up, never being confident, never feeling like they're happy at all. But lately, after Ruka becomes a girl, not that Ruka becomes a completely different person and so full of confidence, so happy, all of this. But we do get a sense that she's happy. She's looking up and she's confident. She's even asking Okabe out on a date. Like, these are things that he would never have done. And so that's why I think that it's really telling the difference between Ruka happy and Ruka not happy, which makes the content of this episode all the more difficult to digest. You know, like the episode itself, I don't really think there's a lot to talk about. The last episode, it was kind of the same. There wasn't so much to talk about. It was kind of just the episode itself, because everything else within the episode kind of is relevant to the episode itself, if that makes sense. The episode starts off in a very like, oh, like this is uncomfortable kind of way. Like I just felt like my stomach was just like clenched up and I was just like, oh, this is tough. Because he just goes straight to Ruka and asks, hey, can you become a guy again? Like, just straight up. Like, there's no leading into it. There's nothing. It's just, hey, I need you to do this thing. You used to be a guy and I need you to be a guy again. Like, that's a brutal way to approach that subject. And that's exactly what Okabe does here, because he's very out of touch with people at times. Sometimes I feel like he's really great with people, and other times he's very out of touch with how to approach a subject with a specific person. You know, sometimes you need to approach a subject differently with one person to how you would with another, and that's exactly what happens here with Ruka, because he kind of addresses it the same way, similar way with Ferris, but Ferris is more receiving of what he's saying and I guess confused, whereas the things he's saying to Ruka are very hurtful, especially considering what Ruka has experienced in their life. It has been a very tough childhood and teenagehood for this young character, and for someone that they know and love and respect like Okabe, who is their knight in shining armor essentially, to just turn around and say these awful cruel things, that has to hurt more than anything else. And so that's why Ruka reacts the way she does in this episode, where she starts to cry and she starts to say, how could you say such mean things? And yeah, then we do cut to the opening and we continue on then, where Okabe essentially is lectured by both Kurisu and Mayushi on making Ruka cry. And I think this lecturing is completely valid, you know, it's deserved. And yeah, he starts to feel bad and he's like, okay, do I need to apologize, basically? And he pulls Kurisu aside and shares the whole history of everything and information, and you know, gets her caught up to scratch again. And I wonder if it's getting kind of time consuming or tedious or anything for Okabe to have to constantly do this with Kurisu, where he has to constantly pull her aside, explain everything, let her know what's happening, what's been happening, and what the plans are to happen next. And it's almost every episode recently now at this point where he has to do this. And the reason we have to go to Ruka and we can't just send the D-mail, even though we know exactly what Ruka sent initially on the pager, because they had to come up with a way to send a message on the pager. They had to come up with this encrypted, coded way of texting, I guess, to get a message across because of the way a pager works with the characters and everything. They were able to figure out a way, and so now they need to know the pager number. Okabe also feels bad that he can't just undo all of this for Ruka without letting Ruka know, without essentially getting consent and doing this with her approval, I guess. Even though, like, by the end of this episode, it feels like a very thinly veiled approval. Like, I don't know, it just feels very sad. But regardless, he is told by Kurisu, hey, I think she likes you because of the things she said. And Okabe is taken back. He's like, what? No, there's never been anything like that. We've always been close and there's never been any kind of hint towards anything like that. And that's when his phone rings from Ruka asking him to come over to the shrine. And when he does, she basically says, I've always loved you and I would like for you to go out on a date with me. And if you can do that, just this once, for one day, be my boyfriend, I will give you my mother's pager number and we can undo all of this and I will be a boy again. As much as she does not want to do that, she is willing to if she can have this day with Okabe. And it really goes to show that that could also have been a huge reason why she wanted to be a girl in the first place. And I know that maybe her whole life she did say before she sent the email that she wanted to be a girl her whole life. I think I can't remember the exact quote, but you know, a huge part of maybe why that is, especially now while she is older and while Okabe is older, is that she, like she says, feels like if she's a guy she cannot share those feelings and she cannot like him. She would feel bad. She cannot. And Okabe is like, no, girl, guy, whatever, does not matter. I'm still going to be me, you're still going to be you, and that's all that matters. So then a lot of the rest of the episode is spent around Okabe, Kurisu, and Daru all coming up with plans, I guess. Well, not so much Daru. Daru's just there for the ride, for how to train Okabe for a date, because he's never been on a date before, I don't think, anyway. I think they said he's never been on a date. He's a virgin, as is Kurisu, you know, as is probably Daru. Like, not that that's, you know, relevant to the story whatsoever, but they do make some jokes about that. And of course, Kurisu gets a new nickname out of it. They essentially train Okabe for this date. Kurisu goes and gets him some nice clothes, a suit, and he dresses up really nice. He looks great. And that's when then they go on the date. And yeah, it's pretty funny, because they're just following the entire time, and it seems like they're not even trying to hide, honestly, as they launch Operation Valkyria. Ruka shows up looking as adorable as ever, and they go out on this date. They're walking, and things are very awkward and quiet, and Okabe's trying to remember what he was told, you know, things like you should subtly find a way to ensure that you're on the side of traffic, you should make sure that she's standing inside, you should make sure that when a car approaches you protect her subtly, all of this stuff. And none of it's going well, because this is not him, this is outside of his realm of life, you know, he does not do things like this. And so when he tries, it really shows that he is trying too hard. But on the date they eventually get to the cafe, I think it is anyway, and things are very awkward. They're not really talking to each other, and Okabe's just talking about all this nonsense that is very, very like dumb and menial. It's not really important, and he's just kind of word vomiting after a while because he probably feels awkward in this silence. And Ruka's like, hey, well, I'm sorry that this wasn't something you wanted to do, or something. I can't remember what she says, but you know, it's very clear that it's like, hey, we tried. And yeah, Okabe's just like, no, the date's not over. We need to walk home. We need to walk more. We're going to walk around the city. And even that walk is very awkward. It's not leading anywhere. It's just very awkward and difficult to watch almost. But after a while, Ruka approaches the subject of, do you remember how we first met? And we learn that she is starting to remember memories from this other world line. She remembers the memory of her having pictures taken of her by these random guys and being saved then by Hoin Kyoma. And it's very thoughtful and nice to see that the first time they met, they had this really sweet encounter where Okabe said the words, boy, girl, whatever, that doesn't matter. You know, it's great. I love that was brought up the first time they met, you know, because Ruka's like, I appreciate you helping me, but I'm not a girl, so like, you know, it's okay. But yeah, Okabe, what a great guy he is. But that clues us in then that she is able to remember things from the other world line like Ferris was. So there's like a bleeding effect once they start to be reminded. And it's curious because when Okabe is telling Kurisu about everything that's happened, she does not start to remember anything. So it seems to be that these world line altering events, they're kind of unstable, and it doesn't take much for there to be like this bleeding effect and this crossover if you approach the subject of the branch, of the splitting effect that happened, and start to share information with them. So it seems to be that that's the case, because otherwise Kurisu would be very clued in every time, but she's not. Ruka gives Okabe the pager number and then runs off very sad. And it's very understandable. This poor girl is having to go back to a life that she does not want to live. As much as it really sucks and hurts the whole situation with Ferris, it's at least not as bad as this, I feel like, because she's had 10 years to accept the fact. And we see that she is living a happy, jovial life. She's very bubbly. Whereas Ruka, this was it for Ruka. This was Ruka's chance at happiness. So it really does suck that this is how things have to go. That's when Okabe returns to the lab. They set up a text to the pager that will make it look like the previous one was a prank. But Okabe feels awful. He feels terrible, and he says, you know what? This date isn't over yet. I'm going to go and be myself. I was never myself today. And he goes and bees himself. He approaches Ruka as he normally does, and they have a lovely time. They have a great time spending time with one another. And this is exactly what Ruka wanted. I think this is exactly what Okabe wanted for Ruka before everything goes down. And I love that they had that moment where they, you know, talked like this and everything. Harking back kind of to what Ferris said in the last episode, Ruka seems more worried almost about forgetting the time that she spent with Okabe and forgetting memories from this world line. And that is obviously very valid. You know, like, imagine suddenly a whole life that you lived, you forgot about it and you were living another life. Like, no, you would want to remember what happened in that lifetime. And that's how she feels here as well. Okabe and Ruka have these really sweet moments where Okabe is like, hey, it doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy, we'll always be the same. And that really helps to settle Ruka, even though Ruka's clinging onto Okabe and wishing to be a girl and all of this here. Like, it is painful to see, because this has to hurt a lot. It's once Okabe says, I'll never forget this time, you'll always be Ruka to me, girl, guy, whatever, does not matter. And then that's when we get the time swap, or the word line change, and Okabe straight up asks guy Ruka, hey, do you like me? And Ruka's like, what are you saying? What? I respect you. And yeah, that's kind of how that scene ends. But it's nice to see that Okabe is not going to let that time be wasted. And Okabe, I hope, will continue to make things better and right for them. But then we do end with the message of just one message left. And that is going to be Moeka. And that's going to be a tough one for Okabe, especially everything that's happened with Moeka. So we'll see what comes in the next episode. Next episode is when I'm really, really interested in seeing what happens, because Moeka is still a huge mystery to me. And yeah, I feel like that's going to do it for me for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and comment down below letting me know who your favorite character is in the series. And I hope that you're having a great day today and that you're able to take it easy. I will see you in the next one. Take care.